Hello, everyone, and welcome back to On Mothering, which is my reflection on my parenting journey. I am now a parent to an almost 3 months old. I am in disbelief that time has flown by so quickly, and pretty soon I'll be running after an infant that will be crawling over the place and keeping me busy. If you're new to this podcast, I just want to remind you that it is meant to sound natural and not overly produced. So I definitely would like it to sound as if I'm just speaking to you. You're sitting here with me, and I'm sharing my reflection on my parenting journey. And of course, you can comment and give your feedback that way. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep this process going. So, I have been thinking a lot over the past couple of weeks on the notion of mom tax, and I decided to wait a little bit just to sit with it, think about it, so that when I discuss it, it doesn't sound as it's event, but it's really me sharing my own perspective on the oftentimes overlooked or maybe unacknowledged work that a lot of parents, especially moms, since the statistics show that moms do typically do more of the parenting. So just looking at that, especially for women who may not have the support. And I'm not saying that I don't have the support, because I do have a supportive partner who, of course, could be more supportive or more hands-on, but he's definitely supportive. He's definitely very involved in my child's life. But as someone who was very busy with their career and juggling two different projects while working a full-time job, it's definitely a different pace. And at times I think about what taking this break and what, pausing, I guess, in some context would mean to my own career, would mean to my me going back to work and picking up the pieces, or even in terms of, my professional growth, to be absolutely honest. And I think too, at times I feel a little bit, for want of a better word, resentful at the fact that, my partner has the ability to go to work and do what he has to do, and continue his own professional growth. And of course, this is a personal choice, so I don't want it to seem as if I am, why, or the question might be asked, why don't you just go back to work? That is not what that is not what I really want to do. What I really want to talk about really is the issue that many women often have to pause their career. They never get back to the state of their career while their partners continue to advance in their career, in the name of, motherhood, or in the name of um, providing really good care for their children. And sometimes partners don't even understand what that means for the mother, for this new role that she has, or the new person that she has become. I think sometimes want things to continue the way that they were before the child was born. So for instance, I know that I cannot be the same person. So before I had the child, I would make dinner, I would, share the dinner, and we'll have dinner together. But now we have not had any form of meals together since the baby has been born, because we're also on a different schedule. And so that also changes the dynamics, and also places a different emphasis in terms of, ensuring that the child has adequate care, because while he's eating, I'm watching the child. While I'm eating, he's also caring for the child. So it kind of changes the dynamics. And it's also interesting to see how I have just morphed into this person, like someone who really is constantly thinking about who I am, thinking about the care that I provide for my child. So The last week in particular, I decided to upload the videos on my YouTube channel, which is my other channel that I have, where I post research brief. And even though I did this during the time that my child was sleeping, or while he was doing tummy time, so we would have him on the mat, etc., playing, and I would sit there with him. Sometimes I felt as if I was neglecting him, and I felt as if I needed to be more present. I needed to just be there. And I keep thinking, if I am home and I'm next to my child, sometimes doing this type of work, what does it mean for moms who have to leave their children and work, outside of the home while they're very young? They're working sometimes two, three jobs. What does it mean for them, and the sacrifice that they have to give? Or let's make it very general in terms of parents. Fathers also play a role in this, and that is also, it could also be, or it is also difficult for fathers to leave, their jobs. But I find, especially, from my experience and speaking to my other colleagues who have young children, it seems as if some of the fathers might not acknowledge this, or might they just continue as if it's a business as usual. So I do want to acknowledge this hard work that parents, mom in particular, have to do. And I also want to reflect on my own privilege to be able to be off a year, providing care for my child, understanding that there are many parents, many moms who do not have this type of privilege, and may have it even more difficult than me to provide care and to also provide financial support for their children. So I know that this topic, of course, is not new. There's lots of research, lots of documentation on it, but I've really been thinking about it because I have a few friends who, as I said before, who have young children, and we've just been talking about it, talking about the constant. And even though I live with my mom, I keep asking her, how was it for you? How was it for you? And I grew up in Jamaica, so, and I had families, and I have family back in Jamaica. My mom had family. She lived in an extended family with my father's side of the family when I was growing up, and she had the support. So perhaps it's even a little bit more difficult being in an environment where you don't have that extended support and you are providing most of the care for your child. I feel most of the time that mothers don't talk about this, or parents in general don't talk about this, because it seems like it's the labor that we have to do, that society has normalized getting through it with your child, and a lot of mothers don't verbalize their feelings, their true feelings and frustration with motherhood and with caring for the child. Hence, it can contribute to mothers having postpartum depression. But I have made a promise to myself that I will be true to myself, I'll be true to my feelings in the name of avoiding postpartum depression, so that I can provide the best care for my child as possible. So, this podcast is really to shed light on some of these issues and some of the thoughts that I have been contemplating for a couple of weeks now. I do hope I hear from you in terms of what are your own experiences with parenting. It might not be a biological child. I know a lot of siblings provide parenting or parenting support. A lot of family members provide parenting support. And let's normalize parents, let's normalize moms saying, this is difficult. I love my child, but I really do not like this stereotypical notion of motherhood that I'm expected to play, or I'm having real difficulty in doing this or doing that aspect of motherhood. Let's have more conversation about that, because I feel as if more moms will have better mental health if we do. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you again next week. Bye.